Shalom, family, and greetings to all my brothers and sisters scattered to the four corners of the earth. I would like to thank you for tuning in and welcome to another segment of Healthcare Talk Live on the Black and Healthy Restoring Black America channel here on YouTube and also broadcasting live on Facebook on the Country Living in the City page. I'd like to welcome you today because we have a serious topic to talk about that affects all our Black Americans who are descendants of slaves. Um, this is a somber topic today, and normally I address all minorities because this channel is designed for that. But I'm specifically talking to Black Americans today and the descendants of slaves who have, and the trauma that has been endured but never treated. I recently had trauma myself dealing with the death of my husband, and I was going to do a series on the stages of grief and trauma. And as I was doing research, I came across a wonderful doctor who was talking specifically about slavery and the trauma endured by our people, and that we were never treated for it. That's the one thing that, as a clinician myself, as a practitioner, I know endured trauma can cause psychosis, can cause all kinds of things if you go to the technicalities of things that happen in the psych world. But as a nation, um, we have behaviors that are known to ourselves regarding how we see ourselves as a nation and how we see ourselves in the scheme of society. And it helps us to operate from day to day. And those of us that have better coping mechanisms than others, or we're more educated, we still feel the oppression as well. It doesn't matter. Because we have endured these things generational. Although when slavery existed, there was no, even after slavery, what was there to help us with our mental well-being? What was there to help the descendants of slave deal with the effects of slavery? So I am not a researcher in this area, but Dr. Joy, who is a licensed researcher, researcher with a PhD, she also is she's worked in over 30 years of research in mental health behavior, specifically looking into the behaviors of the African American community here in America and the effects of slavery from the trauma and the enduring oppression and subjugation of our people. This is going to be a very honest conversation today, and one that I hope my fellow Black Americans take heed to and actually look into the things that I'm presenting today. I want to today present this book. It's, sorry, Post Traumatic Slavery Syndrome. This is a book by Dr. Joy DeGruy, and I want to show you a short clip of her speaking engagement I, at a university that she was invited to present the book, and she'll give you an explanation of what post traumatic slavery syndrome is.
Group therapy historically. No. So listen, 339 years of trauma, no help, freed, no help. Did the trauma continue? 339 years of trauma, no help, freed, no help, more trauma. What we are is a miracle. But what we've been told is, well, we don't want to talk about that. So let me give you some real upfront examples of it, hidden in plain sight. Let's first give you an example, and I use this example, and the reason why I'm starting here is so that we can have a point of reference because we can't heal what we don't understand. So let's say you have a black mother and a white mother, or a black father and a white father, not gender specific. So the black mother and a white mother, each one of them has sons, and the sons know each other, they kind of grew up together, very much my son's experience with his friend Nick, who's Greek. He grew up with Nick. Nick would show up in the living room or show up at the kitchen table, and I go, Nick, I didn't even know you spent the night. Does your mama know you here? No, Nick, he gets up being in his wedding. So you have a black mother and a white mother. Both their sons grew up together. The black mother finds herself seated next to the white mother at a meeting like this one. And both of their sons are on either side of them. And the black mother leans forward and says to the white mother, I just wanted to let you know, I noticed your son is really doing well. And the white mother is very excited. Thank you so much for noticing. Did I mention he's in TAG? That would be the talented and gifted program. In addition to that, you know, he also won the science fair just last week. You know, his uncle's an astronaut. The boy's just brilliant. We're so proud of her. And she's oozing with enthusiasm, and she sits back feeling warm and fuzzy. And as she sits back, she realizes that the black mother's son is actually excelling her son. So she leans back and she says to the black mother, wait a minute, you're talking about my son. Your son's the one that's really coming along. And the black mother's response, girl, get out of here. You seen that boy yesterday. Woo! He's something else. He works my nerves. That boy's a handful. Woo! He's something else. Girl, shut up. Get out of here. Now, how many people have seen or heard that behavior? So what I wanted to understand is the etiology of the behavior. Where did it come from? I've been in 7 countries in Africa. It's not an African thing. It is a Caribbean thing. In fact, there's a secret. And it is always the secrets that make us sick. It is not something that most of us even question, particularly those born in this city. Because everyone in this room that's of African descent knows this secret. And the secret is that even though the parent, male or female, father, mother, is saying, ooh, that ooh is something else, they're proud at the same time. Am I telling the truth? Okay, so now everybody's giving me that nod because we know, and it's regardless of class or education. But I wanted to understand the etiology of that, and I actually traced its roots. And the way I did it was 2 ways. One, I read thousands of slave narratives. And number 2, I interviewed elders.
I just wanted um, to add my guest to the stream. Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry. I'm struggle streaming here. Sorry. I what I wanted to do, I'm sorry, because there's something going on with the volume of that video, but I will read to you an excerpt of her book and define what post traumatic slavery syndrome is. She, she says post traumatic slavery syndrome is a condition that exists when a population has experienced multi generational trauma resulting from centuries of slavery and continues to experience oppression and institutionalized racism today. Added to this condition is a belief, real or imagined, that the benefits of the society in which they live are not accessible to them. This then is post traumatic slave syndrome. Multi generational trauma, together with continued oppression and absence of opportunity to the access benefits available in the society that lead to this syndrome. A syndrome is a pattern of behaviors that is brought about by specific circumstance. The circumstances that produce PTSS are outlined. What is the resulting patterns of behavior? There is not a single pattern of behavior. There are many. I have identified three categories: vacant esteem, ever present anger, and racist socialization. So in this book, she outlines those things in this book, and she also talks about the power of our belief, the power of how we believe things within ourselves. She talks about the vacant esteem, where she talks about what we as a nation see as our self worth and value. And one of the questions when I was reading her book, I came up, I said, do all of us suffer from this as descendants of slaves? That's my question. I do believe we do. I believe it's hidden. I believe it's in our defense mechanisms, the way we behave, and especially the way we treat each other. Often there's a cliche about black folks in business doing business with black folks, or colored folks are always on CP time. You often see our comedians make jokes about it, and which it doesn't offend me because these are behaviors of our community that we are aware of. But when it comes to the subjugation and the constant oppression, the lack of not being on the same level as others, able to do things, there is a fluctuation I do see in our younger generations that are looking towards entrepreneurship and not being apologetic for being black. A lot of times, many of our people felt like they had to walk on eggshells about many things and couldn't be themselves, especially in the professional world. I recall um, when my sister was working for, I'm not going to say the company's name, but it was a professional company. And this was back in the late 80s. Late 80s, and I know that she was wearing her hair in braids just as I have mine today. And well, she was told it didn't look professional and that she had to change her hair. Now, that doesn't sit pretty with me because I wear braids quite often. My hair is better natural than it ever was with chemicals. I've done both, and I don't put anybody down for doing it. Uh, it's just that I know my hair grows better when I don't put the chemicals in. And so, but I'm not going to let anyone tell me about my hair because this is what God gave me. I can't question what I look like. So what I do is adapt. And a lot of the things she talked about in her book is how we've endured. We've endured the trauma. We keep enduring the trauma. So when we do break down, uh, I've had friends, just over the years, just tell me, "Girl, I was crying and I have no idea why." Oh, there's been times, there's been sadness. And right now, I mean, just talking about it with you guys is helping me deal with my personal trauma. But we as a nation, it talks about, she has a chapter in here that talks about, I don't even notice race. And I actually don't like that statement at all. I can tell you why. Because as a nurse, I've had to encounter many different nations and I respect their nations. You know why? Because they love their culture and their race and they embrace those things. And as a nurse, I'm taught to respect these things. But black people are told we don't have to notice race when it comes to us. That doesn't apply to other nations. It just applies to us. Because I've only heard black people say it. Now that's the sad thing about it. I've never had any person of another race ever make that statement to me. That's why this book blew me away. And I was reading it and understanding the behaviors. Well, it in the video that was not playing loud enough that I don't think it was. She was talking about how we degrade ourselves. We degrade ourselves publicly to other nations, and I don't see a need for that. Actually, I find it degrading to our nation as a people when we publicly put each other down. Um, and I don't really see that a lot with other nations. When you're in the entertainment business, you don't know what might pop up on the screen. But when every day to day people interactions, I do not see publicly where other nations put themselves down to other nations publicly. But I see that all the time in the black community. And we do it in entertainment as well. Um, everyone has an opinion about the N word. Um, I don't like it. I don't like it. And I don't want anyone to use it. But, oh well. But I do recommend this book. It gives a lot of explanation, and I recommend it to those who are trying to pat overcome things because it's very helpful in giving us an insight not only into slavery, because I know Dr. Joy says that she went through thousands of slave narratives, and these are actual recordings from the slaves themselves. Those things that she did, that the slaves had to do to survive, and we pass it on. But now there's many mechanisms that aren't needed now, where a lot of times we do have to protect our own, and we're not protecting our own because we have a selfishness I see that has developed in our nation, where we don't see each other as to be embraced because we've been beating ourselves down for so many years. It's hard for us to embrace each other. And it's always a cliche or a joke about going into business with black people. And I know those who watch this, they watch this video, and that are my people. They will probably say, "Yeah, we done heard that," But I do encourage Black business. I try to support my brothers and sisters who are doing entrepreneurship because I believe those people and myself included, we are ones that's trying to break the chain of this. We're trying to rebuild these things that were lost in our culture, the community. I mean, we had Tulsa before, and it doesn't have to be, there's many business ventures, but we would rather go into business with other nations. And I've heard it, I've seen it and heard it out of people's mouths myself. I just feel like this. I'm never going to give up on my people. I'm never. They are my ancestors. They are my ancestors, and they were the slaves. I'm not afraid to talk about slavery because my people, my immediate family, I understand the ties to what they went through because my family still has land that was ob- obtained during slavery from the results of slavery, and my family embraced it, and we talk about it. We talk about our roots quite often. I created country living in the city because it gives homage to a lot of things that our people used to do from scratch. I do a lot of things from scratch. I've learned how to do those things because I want to be self sufficient and I don't like chemicals. My body doesn't like chemicals. I've my skin has burned just from putting on the wrong lotion, and this is something I bought in the grocery store. So I do better making my own lotion. And I teach people how to do that in country living in the city. And and I want my Black people to embrace it. I mean, I hope they do. So, but I do recommend this book, and it is the link is posted in the description, and you can find it on my website. It's for sale. And also, I wanted to share my husband wrote books as well. He was a chaplain, and he wrote a book called The Struggle. And he talks about in The Struggle, it talks about the Black dysfunctional family, but he gives a more spiritual outlook of it. So this is also available on the website, and I have that posted in the description. And my husband's books are only $5, and they're a quick read. I don't know how many pages, maybe about 50 pages or so. But it just gives you a little inspiration and stuff. But I know that this is a very helpful tool to help you overcome many things. And just reading it, and it reminded me of some of the things I heard from my grandparents and before they passed. I have no matriarchs or patriarchs. My mom and dad are gone. I have no grandparents. So I only have the memories, and they were closer to that era than we were. And we can learn many things from our elders if we take the time to listen. So I don't see. Let's see if anyone is. I'm going to post the StreamYard. Let me see, where am I at here? So I posed the question: do all Black descendants of slavery suffer from PTSS? Um, in the link, let me see, let me go to the chat. In the link, you should see the StreamYard. Let's see, the StreamYard, hmm, StreamYard link. And if you want to get in on the discussion, the question is for today is: do all Black descendants suffer of slavery? Do all Black descendants of slavery suffer from PTSS? I want to hear from my courageous brothers and sisters because, I wasn't trying to be here long, but, you know, Dr. Joy said we suffer from many behaviors as a community because of the effects of slavery. We also are still at the bottom of the totem pole in many areas. So I just posed that question to see if anyone want to comment or have any questions or want to make a statement regarding it. Um, but we as a people can come together. I believe this book is uh, a very good beginning of us helping each other, building community, and Dr. Dr. DeGrew is very helpful in outlining a lot of the things that you have seen today in our people and the continuing oppression that's still happening today. So, as always, people, I love you, my people, my family. Take care of yourself, your mind, body, and spirit, and enjoy the simple things of right. And read this book. Like I said, I posted the link in the description. Get this book. It's on Amazon. And also check out my husband also wrote another book. I wanted to share this one with you too. He wrote one called The Uncomfortable Truth, and this one is $5 too. But I wanted to read you what my beautiful husband said. That was his last book. He wrote this book, and it says, it is 2021, and people of color are still not treated as equals in the United States. Many people think we should be grateful for the progress we have made throughout the years. The truth is, many of us are tired of getting the crumbs from other people's tables. And many businesses need to stop putting profits before over the people. Mm. We all want our voices to be heard, to see more equality and own a lot more of our tables. No longer feeling the need to teach our children to assimilate to the cultures of others. Mm. When a person keeps compromising, it starts to appear that they have surrendered. No man nor woman should be oppressed nor live in fear. We continue to fight with our rights and not be apologetic. That's from my husband, Elder Mark Smith, chaplain. So I'll post everything where you can get a hold of these books. They're good reads. Enjoy. I love you, my people. Take care of yourself. Be safe. Until next time. And don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. And share this information with your friends and family. Until next time, shalom.